Crisis on Infinite Earths, man. You know how much I'm looking forward to this event.
I do.
Despite some of the negative things I'm about to say, this is still like one of the most hyped things I'm like, really excited for. I just want to point that out now. I'm going to say some negative things here, but I'm really excited for this event. So let's start with the positive stuff, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Try and get me into the event.
Yeah, I will. And then I'm going to tell you about the negative stuff. So the positive things about it. So we know that Tom Welling now has finally been confirmed to actually be coming back for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, the one thing that people need to keep in mind about this is that the script has been done, and basically they're already starting post-production. So the fact that it's only being announced now means that more than likely he's not going to get that much screen time.
Yeah, just cameo.
Very small cameo role, but it's still pretty cool to my opinion. I think that we're going to have now 3 different versions of Clark Kent on this event.
Do we know he's going to be a Clark Kent?
Yes, we do know that he's playing the same Clark Kent from Smallville. That is confirmed. We don't know if he's going to wear the Superman outfit. Tom Welling himself has expressed many times how he didn't want to wear the Superman outfit, and that's why they had to CG it on him in the last episode.
Which is a shame. Hey, he might feel differently about it now.
I know. I'm not saying that's how he feels now. I'm just saying back in the day, that's definitely why they weren't able to go through with it before.
Leather jacket wearing freak.
I'll say one more positive thing before I get to the more negative side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Another positive thing is that they just literally an hour ago released a picture of Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman, and it looks beautiful.
I mean, the Kingdom Come Superman does look beautiful.
Oh yeah, they make Brandon Routh, they aged him up the perfect amount, so it's not like super heavy. He doesn't look like super old, but he does have like kind of the gray hair on the side there.
We in the black S background?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the black S. You
shit.
even, and this is something I was worried that, the CW was going to be too cool for, but nope, they weren't too cool for it. He has the trousers.
Good. God, I am so sick of Superman outfits without the stupid underwear. The stupid underwear are what make the suit. Otherwise, you don't have like a very important break in the suit, and it looks awful. Just blue head to toe. I'm sorry. It looks bad.
I wouldn't say it looks bad, but I will say that it does kind of take away one of the points from the original Superman, which is him being based on, strong men from the circus, essentially.
Like that everyone was back then.
Yeah, like every superhero was back then.
Look at Batman.
Yeah,
Look at Spider-Man.
Well, I'm okay with modern versions of Superman not having it. If you're going to have a classic version of him, like the Brandon Routh Superman, you got to have the trousers.
I'm honestly not okay with them not having it. You know why? You know in the comics famously, what was one of the earliest Supermen without the trousers?
Huh.
The evil cyborg Superman. And it was like part of the point was like this dehumanizing, more alien, futuristic, sleek like Superman replacement came in, and then it was evil because of course it was. The trousers are important. They're as odd as it sounds. The trousers are a symbol of humanity.
You know what? That is actually a really good point. And to add on top of that, what's funny about that is that was during the 90s when everything was dark and edgy. So even in the 90s, they knew that they had to have the trousers.
Even in the 90s, they were like, yeah, no trousers equals evil. Trousers equal good. It's just true. It's just how it's always been.
But now we go on to some of the bad news of Crisis that I have to bring up, which gives me some concerns. And so I should point out, so I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Lois and Clark Kent from Smallville coming into this. But like I said before, you got to really lower your expectations on how big of a role they're going to play. And the biggest example of this is recent news with Michael Rosenbaum, who was very straight up about why.
Who is Michael Rosenbaum?
Lex Luthor. He was very straightforward on why he isn't coming back into Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's why, you don't want to get your hopes up for Clark Kent and Lois Lane's role. So basically, he was asked on Twitter, it was Twitter, when he finally said, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me why I haven't accepted the role on Crisis, so I'm just going to be straight up with you and tell you, I got a call from my agent while I was visiting my dad in his retirement home, and my agent said, hey, they were asking if you wanted to be in Crisis. They currently don't know what your role will be. They don't know when you're going to be shooting, and they need to know now, and they don't know how much they're going to be able to pay you. And with all that stacked on top of it, he just kind of said, I'm going to have to pass.
Yeah, that's pretty garbo.
Yeah. So I in no way blame Michael for not wanting to do it.
Crisis was like a fan thing. I would kind of get it, but it's not. It's a very professional thing.
Yeah, this was something that they've literally had a year, probably even more than that, to plan for.
Yeah, let's be honest. They've probably been planning this since the first crossover event that they did.
So it's bizarre to me. And the biggest thing, and don't get me wrong, I don't think it'll be this bad, but it kind of reminds me, it gave me the vibe of the mega battle from Power Rangers. Power Rangers Mega Super Force. God, that's such a dumb title. If Mega Force wasn't bad enough, they have to add Super to it. But anyways, during the final battle, there was this whole thing where they're hyping it up. They're like, oh, veteran Rangers are coming back. It's going to be the biggest crossover we've ever done in Power Rangers. You guys are going to love it. We have a whole season to build it up. And then the Rangers come, and literally they're just not even glorified cameos. The only one who has slightly more than a glorified cameo is Tommy Oliver, because of course he does. But my worry is the vibe I'm getting from it seems very similar to what happened when all the Rangers, the other actors that played Rangers before, didn't show up, and why the roles that were there were so short. A lot of their responses, with some exceptions, were just like, oh, well, we got invited, but it was literally a month before shooting, and we had to fly out to New Zealand, and
it's hard.
When you have only a month's notice that you have to fly out to New Zealand for an entire week for what's going to be just a glorified cameo, I'd pass on that too. Again, any Ranger that was not involved in the mega battle at the end of Super Mega Force, no blame for you guys at all, because that was the reason for the most part. And I'm getting that kind of vibe with Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I don't think it'll happen as bad, and I really hope not as well. But I am surprised, though, that this is the way they would go about getting such a big member of like the DC universe like this.
I'm honestly not. I kind of knew this was happening. It's seemed really obvious for a while that the reason they've been able to do so much with this is because someone in the studio at some point stopped giving a fuck and gave them carte blanche. There's literally been no oversight. I have to imagine there's no oversight into this process whatsoever. This is whatever the casting guy is and whoever the directors are, all talking about who they can shove in and just calling people up. This smells like desperation. This smells like the desperation of a fan. And I've kind of been getting that sense for a while. Given how far into production they were still announcing new casting. And on one hand, that's really cool because clearly the studio is giving them, free reign. But on the other hand, it sounds kind of chaotic and kind of messy.
It does.
Which leads to stuff like this.
Yeah. So only time will tell. I'm definitely going to be watching all 5 parts when they premiere on the CW.